The Sega Mega Drive Mini, aka the Sega Genesis, is not an Ad Games console. Yes, we know Ad Games is manufacturing and distributing this console. The Sega is commissioning, has a business deal with Ad Games in which Ad Games will manufacture and distribute the console. It is different from Ad Games having a Sega license to use so they can put out games and essentially a Sega Genesis console up to their specifications. This is different. This is Sega saying, hey, Ad Games, we know you manufacture and distribute hardware. Let us have one of your developer kits. We'll tweak it. We'll get the emulation right. And if we need to make hardware adjustments, we'll do that. And we'll give this console to you. The same, reproduce it exactly the way we say at Sega it needs to be done. It's just like Apple and the iPhone. It's not a Samsung just because they use a Samsung display in the iPhone. Apple goes to Samsung and say, hey, make this screen to my specifications the way I want it. I don't care how you do it with your Galaxy phones and your Note phones. We want it a certain way at Apple. We're going to tell you how we want it and when we want it. And guess what? Apple gets that. And this is how Sega is doing it with Ad Games. This is not Ad Games using the license of Sega. This is Sega saying, Ad Games, make us what we want since you have the infrastructure in place. And I'm just tired of hearing these videos. Hearing these comments and watching these videos complain about Sega, the Sega Mega Drive Mini, aka Sega Genesis Mini, being an Ad Games console. The Ad Games logo is not on it. If this is an Ad Games console, Sega went on stage holding the console saying, hey, we're coming out with this, in 2018 in Japan and eventually in the United States, North America, etc., around the world. This is Sega actually being involved. This is not Sega mixed up in a license deal saying, hey, you can use our license, it's because it's a check. This is a Sega project. There is a difference. Sega is dictating the terms of this particular project to meet their specifications, to meet their emulation requirements, to meet their standards. It's a difference, point blank, period. That's all there is to really be said about it. And that's how business works. Just because Ad Games made crappy products in the past has nothing to do with them producing the product for Sega. Sega is running quality control. That's what it is. You don't stick your name out on the line. You don't go on stage if you don't run quality control. Because guess what? Sega's not stupid. They know Ad Games pass. So obviously they're gonna run quality control, and obviously they're gonna say Ad Games make it the way we want it. Common sense. Come on now. Sega's not stupid, right? I know Sega's made mistakes in the past in terms of gaming, but they're trying to make a comeback into hardware, so to speak. And it's just a propelling point, a starting point for saying, hey, make us what we want. It's just like BlackBerry. They don't make Blackberries. They have Alcatel making the Blackberries for them and say, hey, do it like this, meet our standards. You manufacture it, you distribute it. That's it. Same thing. And Alcatel BlackBerry is still a BlackBerry. Alcatel just happened to be the one to make the BlackBerry. That's it. Because BlackBerry doesn't want to deal with manufacturing and distribution. They're getting someone else to do it for them. That's just what you do in business a lot of times. When someone else has an advantage and you don't want to do certain things, don't want to deal with certain things. Everyone does that. There's a difference. People are just getting caught up in the Ad Games past, but not realizing how business works. It's Sega going to Ad Games saying, make it the way we want to make it. Point blank, period. That's the end of the story. Just make sure y'all know that. I'm out. Iceberg Jim out. Deuces.